Welcome to Science Research Weekly, Episode 4, To Err in R is Human. Get ready for the top 10 errors in R, self-assembling peptides, microbiome mishaps, a theory-defying dwarf planet, ring system, and a chance to save tiny hearts. This episode covers material from February 3rd to February 8th. Let's get started with some research articles. So, 4 articles to look at as found on Science News Daily. First, 1. The virtual microbiome, a computational framework to evaluate microbiome analyses. So, researchers generated viral bacterial microbiomes and found that due to incomplete reference data sets, the accuracy of the community was often poor, even going so far as to detect many species that were not actually present. Second paper, a dense ring of the trans-Neptunian object Koa-R outside its Roche limit. Researchers found a ring system around the dwarf planet Koa-R using an occultation method. Because the rings are found outside the Roche limit, so the outer limit where ring systems are thought to survive, this suggests rethinking ring formation theories. Paper number 3, 3D printing of self-assembling nanofibrous multi-domain peptide hydrogels. So researchers use self-assembling peptides as 3D printable inks to print soft layered structures of considerable complexity. And fourth, single carbon atom transfer to alpha-beta unsaturated amides from N-heterocyclic carbines. Researchers formed chemical bonds in a single step using a carbon atom, I think it's called doping here, and it improves simplicity and yield of drug development. Okay, with that, let's switch over to some research tools. So, another article in the Journal of Statistical Software, volume 105 is available. Logitter, fast estimation of multinomial and mixed logit models with preference space and willingness to pay space utility parameterization. Then moving on, there are several versions of Python newly available, 3.11.2, 3.10.10, and 3.12.0 Alpha 5. For those of you with a Star Trek affinity, be sure to follow up on the Python 3.12.0 Alpha 5 release info under the "And now for something completely different" section. All right, then, Rick Wicklund of the Do Loop explains how to use Git to share SAS programs, specifically libraries of SAS IML functions. 4 new R packages in CRAN that I think might be useful. deFit, fitting differential equations to time series data. synMicrodata, synthetic microdata generator. Animate, a web-based graphics design for animated visualizations. And formatBibtex, formatBibtex entries and files. Well, speaking of R, while you're in R checking out those new packages I showed you, R on Stats and R has a post via R bloggers on the top 10 errors in R and how to fix them. Convenient. I make a lot of errors. The top 10 errors are: 1. Unmatched parentheses, curly braces, square brackets, or quotes. 2. Using a function that is not installed or loaded. 3. Typos in function, variable, dataset, object, or package names. 4. Missing incorrect or misspelled arguments in functions. 5. Wrong, inappropriate, or inconsistent data types. 6. Forgetting the plus sign in ggplot2. I've certainly done that one. 7. Misunderstanding between equal sign and double equal sign. 8. Undefined column selected. I've certainly done that as well. 9. Problems when importing or using the wrong data file. And 10. Problems when using the $sign operator. All of that aside, let's wrap up with some research funding. So, there is a grant from the NIH using multimodal biomarkers to differentially diagnose ADRDs for clinical trials. U19 clinical trial optional, and ADRDs are Alzheimer's diseases and related dementias. There's also a grant from NSF accelerating research translation. And finally, from a non-federal source, the Saving Tiny Heart Society has a research grant on funding for scientists studying congenital heart defects. All right, key error and the dance of the planets. Thanks for joining me for Science Research Weekly. Science on.